Yes, Mr. Manoj Jain, sir. You can start your presentation. This is
Yes.
an invited presentation from Mr. Manoj Jain.
Okay. Shall I go ahead with my presentation then?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, all. This is an invited presentation. Myself, Manoj Jain, and I have prepared this presentation under the guidance of Dr. Prakash Hemraj Karmadkar, sir, my research supervisor. The topic of my presentation is overview of enterprise resource planning in smart production planning, and following are the points I have covered in the introduction. When I say overview of enterprise resource planning in smart production planning and control, immediately 2-3 things will draw your one's attention. Is first is our enterprise resource planning, the automation part, the production planning and control part, and which has been fueled or by Make in India initiative. The Make in India initiative largely been promoted by our government. It was launched on September 2014. The objective was the foreign direct investment, innovation, world-class manufacturing infrastructure, enhancing the skill development, and so on. The index of, and according to the index of industrial production, the output grew at 3.4% year-on-year basis as of April 2019. India definitely remains an appealing center for the multinational corporations. When I say automation, what I mean by that is the ongoing fourth industrial revolution, which is also known as Industry 4, which is also known as the era of digitalization, with the basic aim of having efficient manufacturing processes. As shown in the block diagram, we are all familiar actually with the basic requirement when it comes to human resource. We say we should be capable of working independently as well as part of team. Now, with everything going smart, right from smartphones to smart homes to smart societies to smart city to smart institutions, and everything is going smart. Likewise, the Industry 4 also wants to go smart, and then the expectation has arisen from what we say the individual systems or individual elements which comprise in the industry, where the different elements, in industry, it is not just one application, one machine or one system working independently. There are different types of machines, there are different types of software applications being incorporated by an organization to achieve its goal, whether in terms of product, whether in terms of human resource, whether in terms of finance, whether in terms of supply chain or customer relation and sales, etc. So some of the key elements or players, I would say, I have highlighted in this block diagram in Industry 4, which is expected to be integrated, blended, and are expected to talk to each other, which systems or applications would be capable of working independently as well as part of team. But we are talking here elements, machines, or software applications such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, big data analytics, and depending on the organization, what all they have implemented in their workplace. The focus, my focus remains on enterprise resource planning, which is a software application. This is the area where I'm going to touch base upon the enterprise resource planning. Enterprise resource planning within an organization, its purpose is to integrate all the various departments and systems, which I will discuss in the forthcoming slide. Departments such as sales and distribution, supply chain management, production planning, inventory control, finance. So what I'm going to discuss and put some light on is enterprise resource planning. Viewpoint the Industry 4, which is Internet of Things, Internet of Systems, or Industrial Internet of Things, or cyber physical. So coming to enterprise resource planning. Data and business processes, because of which we get smooth and uninterrupted production, resulting in lower costs and increased productivity, which is the intent of any organization, which and always will remain the intent of organization to remain competitive in the business scenario. Some of the other basic key features to just quick mention is standardized forms and report, meaning the forms and reports, once they are standardized, it is easily interpretable, whether it is a customer, whether it is a supplier, or whether it is within the organization from one department to other. The interpretability, so to speak, becomes very convenient. The scheming time, the reference time, the process time for particular documents becomes very less. Auto notifications are generated automatically. You don't have any more human dependency, so to speak, to wait and enter or key in the data. Automatically, the notifications, the alerts are generated and contributes to the efficient communication. Coming to the production planning and control. Production planning and control, we're talking, it is production planning and control. For production planning, basically forms the framework of various resources, which is the man, material, machine. Usually there was 3 M, which were focused about a decade before. Then came the 4th M, then came the 5th M. And when the technology keeps changing and more expectations keep growing, the number of M's keep getting added. So we have now a 5M, which I am aware of, which is the method. Other than man, material, machine, money, and method is one. Even we are focusing on methods where we are going to utilize technology to optimize our resources as well as the processes. It will result in stable production system. And production planning and control mainly is involved in implementing the production schedules we have. It is also considered as the nervous system or the epicenter of manufacturing operation. Just a quick look at various types of production systems being used in various manufacturing industry, depending on the product, depending on the processes, and depending on the competition. Sometimes they have to tweak their method of production to come up with an optimum way to produce the product with minimal cost and maximum efficiency. Broadly, they are classified, categorized into 2 halves. One is an intermittent production, which is a start and stop, and the other is a continuous production system. In intermittent, as the name suggests, it is a start and stop. It is not continuous. Some of the further categorization comes like project type production, job type production, batch type production, whereas in continuous, you have a mass production and process production. So some of the typical examples like project type would be, say, the construction projects. If they are not done in a workshop, or they are not done in a manufacturing warehouse or facility, it is done on site, typical construction. Job type production is the job shop type, where you have one job batch running, then the next job, or it could be even a paint shop in the car industry, sometimes when they are at different geographical locations for painting different types of cars. Batch productions will deal with the same. In electronics industry, you have the similar circuit ICs, integrated circuits, but you have different batches to have a proper control and to have a proper traceability, so to speak. Mass production is basically mostly widely used and is a continuous inline production, where the different tools and equipments are aligned in a continuous form near a conveyor or the continuous flow process, and different operations are carried out on the product simultaneously, and the products processed from initial stage, from the raw material to the finish. Process production, a typical example would be the say iron smelting machines, or where the liquid is kind of flowing. Sugar processing industry, oil industries, petroleum oil and petroleum industries, where you have the liquid as basically the material which gets transformed from raw to final, and it cannot be handled manually because of the nature of processes involved, the various temperatures the liquid has to go through. This gives a typical graphical representation of the production types I just discussed. You can see the intermittent production on the left half here, on the quadrant here, and the continuous production on this side. When the where it shows the variety versus volume. When you have low variety, it is a project type. You have few projects running across. Job shop, the volume slightly goes up. Variety still remains high. Volume goes a little bit extra. Batch production, the volume still ramps up and the variety comes down a bit. Mass production system, the variety goes down because now you're getting into the mass production where you don't deal with many different variations at the same time and you focus on more output or more quantity. Like finally, we have the flow production where the variety is next to nil. It is just a type of petroleum or biodiesel or molten steel or iron or even cement or sugar, which is just flowing continuously. Most of the time, the nature of the material is same, only the process and treatment of the material is done differently. However, having that been said, the overview, if you go to look, the process, production planning and control steps remains same throughout the course, where irrespective of the type of production system one is following. You definitely have to, the first step you have to go is planning. What is planning? Planning basically the 5M resources, which I just discussed, the man, material, machine, money, method. You just have to you plan the resources in accordance with the demand. Where comes the allocation? Basically, you do the resource allocation. Routing, what we mean is sequencing operations. When you talking a particular product, the same machine setup, the same machine can be used for producing different products with minimal changes or entire changes, but the same machine is used, only the setup is changed. So how a particular machine is going to use, how a particular machine resource is going to be used, that has been decided, what we call as routing or the sequencing of operation or the process or the steps through which a product has to go, we can say. Scheduling is nothing but a timetable. It's a schedule, as the word says itself. It's a schedule of what product will go through which methods or process, steps rather, and when it is supposed to go. It's just a timetable or phase of loading of the resources. When it is going to be loading, now you are talking, once you have the plan in place, you know where the particular product is to go from raw material to the final stage, and you know the timetable. When now comes the time to load it or roll it, I would say. That is dispatching. You release the shop orders and instruction and thus authorize the start of production. Once you start the production, you want to ensure that the timetable, the schedule is being followed so that the time factor or the efficiency doesn't get hampered and the expected cost of product in which it is supposed to be produced doesn't go beyond that. So we have to focus on, and how that can be achieved is only by continuous follow-up. Inspection also needs to be done from time to time to make sure that we don't create a waste by some unexpected error or unexpected fault in the setting of machine or the machine itself, or something due to an operator unawareness or any of that sort, like any resources, failure of resources or any issue with any of the resources while the process is being carried out. So inspection is of prime importance. Finally, reporting and correction. In case the product is getting delayed, in case there is a process getting delayed due to some or the other reason, we need to report it and correct it there and then. When I say reporting and correction there and then, this is the key which is lacking in most of the manufacturing units places. Some of the risks factors involved, I have highlighted here. You can see based on the various sub-units or sub-areas or subsections of a typical organization, like the organization fit. Sometimes you have insufficient resources. Sometimes you plan the overcapacity planning issue, failure to redesign the business processes. When you talk of the skill mix, you have inappropriate staffing, sometimes the wrong skill and the wrong machine. And you have to ensure this. I will highlight in the forthcoming slide when I talk about the risk impact factors. Then when you talk about typical software system design, there could be a flaw in the system software system as well. You need appropriate maintenance from time to time. You need to make sure there is no conflict between user department, there is no conflict between the data, and so on. So broadly, there could be different types of risk involved in different types of resources, in different types of manufacturing environment, and these would be very much industry specific. So what tool or what instrument, I would say, can come handy for any such manufacturing unit based on its specific requirements is a risk rating matrix. What you come across the various types of risk, or we call so-called what if conditions, they need to be plotted, they need to be kept in mind, and you have to decide the likelihood versus the impact. How like the likelihood, when we say what is the likelihood of a particular risk appearing and how much will it impact the efficiency of the productivity, we would say, based on the likelihood from rare to unlikely to almost certain to the impact effect, which is from catastrophic to insignificant. Accordingly, you can have a risk matrix and a risk rate production risk portfolio, how to deal with it when and if and when the risk occurs. The steps are for dealing with the risk, what we need to do again. So to properly handle this risk portfolio, you need to identify the risk, plot them based on this what I just discussed, analyze the risk, evaluate the probability or the impact factor, proper corrective action plan, and monitoring the and reviewing the risk from time to time. Again, this is a continuous process, as we all know, and we are well aware that everything is continuous. Nothing becomes for sustainability, for our survival. The technology, whether it is our day-to-day living or even the technology or ERP, everything is becoming different from time to time. I can give you a very basic example in this regard, which is just we are most of this generation, irrespective of the field, irrespective of the business area one comes from, is the best example is Windows operating system. It has come a long way. I remember 2.5 decades before, when I was in engineering myself, we started with Windows 3, Windows 98, Windows XP, Windows NT, Windows 2000, Windows Vista, and the list keeps going. I won't go all the way till Windows 10 and Windows 11 and all. So what is done today, as one of our eminent speakers mentioned, the iPhone 11 you take, or a particular camera of you take and you say, oh, it is the latest technology I have the latest greatest camera or latest greatest car, but nothing remains latest greatest anymore these days with the technology advancing in a rapid fashion. Likewise, the purpose of my topic is ERP, enterprise resource planning, in smart production planning control also needs to be ramped up, also needs to keep up with the smart production planning and control. I say because I'm focusing on production planning. It needs to keep up with various departments or various dimensions or attributes of a manufacturing organization, depending on their nature of product, nature of business they are doing. And ERP needs to not just only be tweaked, but now the time has come where ERP has to be ramped up. It needs a big facelift altogether to keep up and to be compatible and integrable with the fourth industrial revolution, that is Industry 4, where we are expecting it to contribute in a smart and intelligent way and be a team player with artificial intelligence, as I showed in my first introductory slide of block diagram. Artificial intelligence or robotics or machine learning and big data analytics. You will have tons of data. You will have gazillions of data bits now. But the question is dealing with it smartly, just like we have lots of literature reviews, lots of reference materials, but to plow through, to get through, and to look for, and where to look for, and what you really need, and what your primary focus area is on. That's exactly analogous to what an ERP needs. It is a continuous changing process. It has to keep up with the technology. Otherwise, you could have state-of-art manufacturing facility has been promoted. The initiative like Make in India, it is promoted largely inviting foreign investments. But if we don't have our act in place, which I personally witnessed for 2.5 decades, and I still see many places still doing the old school way. They're still managing the workplace, especially in production. What I've noticed is still the old school way. They are not able to keep up. And if we are not able to keep up, we will not be able to make this mission, the Make in India mission, a successful one. So that's about the ERP when I say in smart production planning and control. Coming to the summary, as I mentioned just now, it remains a big challenge to meet stringent deadlines, keep up with promised delivery dates. Lack of cross-functional training still exists, which becomes a kind of expected one of the risk factors in the risk matrix I have discussed. Being pushed by demand, at times a realistic plan is not in place to begin with. You know, it is very simple these days. Sometimes you say there is an order, we cannot refuse an order. So that's what I mean. At times we just say we have to accept the order. We cannot say no to incoming cash. We have to do it some way or the other. And we knowingly also, we don't begin with a realistic plan. We just try to ram in, jam in, and push production. And then sometimes compromise even with quality, which I still see. I have purchased 3 vehicles and I still see that quality has been compromised. Vehicles, I purchased scooters or a 4-wheeler, and within 2 to 3 months, their parts becoming defective, they're having starting trouble and whatnot. And we're talking automation, artificial intelligence, robotics, state-of-art software applications. But unfortunately, the reality, if you go to see, you must have come across, it is very different. Even I think the older days without technology, we had much reliable product than we have in present day. The supply, the efficiency of supply and demand chain has increased, but the quality has definitely been compromised to a great extent. Various departments still continue to work in isolation, creating communication gap. Organizations do not, still without fully integrated, are the ones which are impacted most. Information systems are not updated in real-time manner, resulting in delayed availability of latest information. Finally, coming to the conclusions, ERP implementation, it might sound complex, costly, time-consuming. However, definitely it has the effectiveness in automating your business process, in keeping you competitive, in keeping you in line with the latest, abreast the latest technology. Traditional production planning is still less efficient, though people are unable to accept, digest this bitter truth. Conventional ERP must be utilized to automatically plan the production and reduce the human error to great extent. ERP will set goals for Industry 4 with the automation of data and the streamlining of process and continuous feedback system. Keeps personnel at all levels, well informed and assist in taking corrective action there and then, rather than toppling the production schedule upside down and starting all over again and adding to the delays again of producing a particular product. Finally, I would thank you for the patience and participation in my presentation. I hope I wasn't too fast.
Thank you, Mr. Manoj.
Thank you, sir.
This is a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.